Okay, topic is health. And do you have the latest software upgrade? Have you got the app? There's an app to monitor how many steps you take. There's an app to monitor what you eat. There's an app to talk to you about your resting heart rate. There's an app probably to take your blood pressure. There's an app to monitor everything and to tell you what you're doing from the outside to put into your body. What if there was an app that you could download now that said you can stay healthy and it is irrelevant what's going on with that dun dun dun, thou for me will not be named. Yes, I am like Harry Potter, that he that will not be named, thou will not be named, because I am only giving power to the app. The app is the health app. The app is if you could download an app, if you knew right now you could download an app that would keep you healthy and strong, and then you could go out and live your life fully and freely, would you do it? Probably, right? It's like, wow, anything for a quick fix. Absolutely. Well, what if it all begins with just that idea that health could be a download just like you download any other apps? Seems to me it's kind of, well, archaic. That's the word that comes to me, archaic. That we are operating from a perspective of like the Spanish flu over 100 years ago. With all the innovations and creations and technological advancements we've had, even in the health industry, even with the way they can do laser surgeries and microscopic surgeries, all that, we still seem to be powerless to this dun dun dun, this thing out there. Now, there is someone had sent me a video and a doctor. I think he's also running for Senate in the States. MIT has all these lovely designations, and he's been researching the immune system for eons. And he will talk about in his that we're operating from an archaic immune system. Well, for those of us that just are in the know, we're operating from an archaic version of the immune system. We don't need to study it to know that we're operating from an archaic version of the immune system. Our body is much more than a mechanical put things together, and it's much more than, woo, little virus is going to come along, clump, be in your mouth, and then it's going to move down through the situation, right? If it was just that easy, every single person that comes in contact with somebody would be positive and they'd have the same reaction and they would all die. But that doesn't happen, does it? Some people test positive, some people recover. Oh my gosh. Does the media put the same attention into recovery rates? Does it say, where's the focus? Does the focus go to, you know what? We're seeing this wave of transformation happening because everybody's downloading the latest health app. They're putting on the positive vibes. They're saying, you know what? I was designed to be healthy. Some people would call it the word of God, right? But the word of God is the fact that you know the word of God. The word of positive affirmations is that you are acting like a positive affirmation. Being a human being means you're actually being. You're being. So we're not doing health. I'm not doing like if I just don't eat sugar and I, jog 5, miles every day, I'm going to be health. Because I'm sure you've read stories, because I know I have. I think the one guy was Oprah's trainer at one point, Bob Harper. I mean, he had a heart attack. And then he starts doing, pharmaceutical commercials for medication on heart attack. So why is it some guy that's super fitness, who running is supposed to strengthen the heart, would have a heart attack? Maybe there's a lot more going on. Maybe there's a lot more going on in our bodies and our connection than we really know. So if we start to download the latest software app that says health is actually a birthright. Health is actually something that exists within the system. Health is what goes on. Health knows how to make my fingers move. It makes my talk. It makes your eyes blink. It makes you have sensations. It makes you breathe. Oh my gosh, do you know how you do that? Like if everybody just held their breath now and didn't let go, what would happen? But somehow you're still, no matter how much you want to hold your breath, there's something in you that's going to make you keep breathing. There is something that will make you keep breathing. You'll be like, breathe. There is something, whether you are a complete scientist and believe nothing to do about God and this essence that moves through that you gave life, consciousness is a scientific consensus right now. Consciousness exists. There is something that they call consciousness, this intelligence, this presence that just has a state of being. And as we're being health, because we have the latest software upgrade, we've all upgraded, we upgrade everything else, we expect everything else to change, but yet we're still operating on an idea of hundreds and thousands of years ago that something outside ourselves, that just the simple act of washing our hands and covering our face will keep us healthy. What if the simple act of just saying, you know what, I am healthy. I am complete. I will have everything I need. If I am going to come across something that is going to be harmful to me, I'm going to be notified. But that would require you to trust your inner guidance. And maybe you've been operating so far outside yourself, you forgot to download the app. The app called Health, which is inside yourself, which is what makes your body go and move and digest and know how to excrete and know how to expel and knows how to sweat to get the stuff out of you. Knows how to cough because it doesn't want anything in there. Knows how to make your nose run because it wants to get it out. And our bodies are designed to handle that experience. When I came back in December from Costa Rica, I had left the airplane in Toronto. I had just made it down to the lower level of the airport. And it was like, whoa, what did I walk into? Something I walked into. It was like I walked into something and my nose just started to just run. It just started to run. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have never had this experience before. And the next day I was flat out. I had zero energy. I was just like, this hadn't happened to me in, I don't know, maybe 7-8 years, something like that. And I just was like, wow, something is going on. Just go with it. I know I'm healthy. So even though I have no energy and my nose is profusely running, I know I'm healthy. I know I'm healthy, and healthy means my body is getting rid of what it doesn't want, what isn't supposed to be there. And at that moment, I said to people, it's almost like I was a tree. I was this lush, vibrant tree in Costa Rica. And then when I landed in Toronto, it was like almost instantly, it's like everything is winter and I got to lose all my leaves, and that's where it's like, lose all that vibrancy and just let it come out and get present to what was going on there. And so after that one day of being completely exhausted, that was all I needed. I still my nose was still releasing for the next couple days. And I had never released that much stuff through my nose, as I said, in very, very long time, years, maybe even a decade. And yet I always had it framed that I was in health, that I trust that my body knows how to release what it doesn't need. I trust if I cut myself, it's going to heal. I trust my body. I trust what makes my body work. So consider that this idea that you're putting on a mask, if you're putting on the mask for this reason. I always say, if you're guided to put on the mask, put on the mask. If you're guided to put on the mask just because you know it's going to make other people feel more uncomfortable where you're in a situation, put on the mask. But if you're putting the mask on because you somehow think the mask is what's going to save you from dun dun dun, I would suggest that you might start to look deep within yourself. And maybe you might want to pick up the latest software upgrade and say, ching, everything else has been upgraded in the world. Isn't it time that I believe that my health is actually something that is built into Mother Nature? That there's seasons and there's reasons and there's experiences. And health, when you know that you're healthy, and yes, there are going to be storms, there are going to be leaves that are going to be blowing off the trees, there is going to be nose blowing, and yes, there are people that are going to die. Trees die, nature dies. But there's always a rebirth. There's always a cycle of life. It's like the circle of life, like the Lion King. Okay? There's a circle of life, and we're part of that life. If you believe in a greater vision of life, then this is the experience of what are you believing? Because for me, and for anybody that said that they are a Christian, they just celebrated, that Jesus rose yesterday. He rose to say, life goes on. You can have life. Through me, you can have life more abundantly. Well, to me, there's nothing more abundant than having good health. So why don't you just go to the App Store, start searching for the latest app that says health. Boom, health. Health 101, Health 10.10, wherever you are. But once you start to believe and update the health app, and you download that health app that says health is a given, health is something within yourself, you start to have your own personal experiences that help you convince that. I've had a lot of experiences. You know, I never believed anything what I'm saying in my first 29 years of my life. In fact, the first person that gave me this idea that maybe thoughts had something to do with my health because I was very diseased and disordered, I was like, what the heck do you know? I'm a very successful business person and you're like an artist or hippie. But yet the seed was planted. And for some people, the seed is just being planted today. But the more people I talk to one-on-one, and I ask them, really, how are you doing right now in this time? How are you really doing in this time? And can you see that this could be a great global transformation, that this could be a great new awakening for everybody, for the planet Earth? It's like there's a release. There is like they just needed one person to say, really, it's true, isn't it? I've been wanting to, but they keep listening to the news. They keep listening to the dun, 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 and they are affected by it. Yes, there you go. Mel is I'm gonna go back to it, Mel, because just where I'm in this space here, that's channeling through. So people are affected by this, I call it in the day 6 of my inner guidance, a distracting broadcast. The distracting broadcast is in the big broadcast, the main broadcast that comes from the source of all sources to me, which is God, says, hey, you can have your experience. And if you want to have the experience like you're one of the extras running out of the building when an earthquake hits, or if you want to have the experience that says, oh my gosh, you know, this is, I'm feeling like I can't go outside because I don't know who's been where and I might step on something, or I can't acknowledge anybody because I'm feeling like I might get that, then you can have that experience because you're having that experience. It's only when you decide, you know what, I don't want to have that experience anymore. So when I was having the experience of being diseased and disordered and stressed, and my back was like full of golf balls size stress in my 20s, and I was miserable and depressed, but I made lots of money, and I had a condo that I owned, and I had a car, and I had all kinds of clothes and designer stuff, and I could shop, and I paid off my credit card every single month, and I played golf at a private golf club. You know, it all looked good from everybody else, but I felt awful. I felt there was no purpose. I felt this didn't make sense. So everyone will have a time. And over this process, as we watch in each country what governments decide to do, and what for some people seems completely illogical, but they're going to decide to do it anyways, some of these things will finally create an experience for others to say, maybe I got to start to tune in here more. Maybe that's all I really can count on is what comes through here. Because after all, that is really all we have, isn't it? Is I'm here in my place, Mel's over there in her place, you're there in your place, everybody's there, and you have the thoughts that come to you, you have the people that are around you, and you have your own experience. So if today you knew there was a sale, free download on the health app that would guarantee you that you could have perfect health, are you even open to receiving it? I think there's a lot more people open to receiving it that would receive it. There's still people that complain about their hands being dry. And even though there's solutions to have natural moisturizing hand sanitizer, right? Or people are like, I'm fine with my cracked hands. You know, there are people that are using those Clorox and Lysol wipes every single day in their house, even though there's a study that came out in Europe 2 years ago that said women, over 6,000 women, 20-year study, 9 countries, that use Clorox or Lysol once a week in their house, the impact on their lungs is like smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. And they're using those wipes every day, every day. That is harmful to your lungs. It's already proven it's harmful to your lungs. You are deliberately hurting yourself because you're listening to someone out there saying you need to protect yourself from that thing by doing this. And in a sense, you're poisoning yourself and your family. But you're listening to them. And yet there's people out there like Mel, myself, whichever, that are going to say there's alternatives. They'll keep you safe and effective. And only those that are ready to listen will reach out and say, you know what, I want to make a change. It all happens in the right time for each person. And I know because I dissed the person that first talked to me about it. And I've been dissed a lot of times in my life as I've offered and said, hey, do you want to be healed? Are you open to healing? I've seen many people healed. Some in one instant, you know, from backs, bones, mentally, it can be amazing. So I've had these experiences. And from that experience, I can share my experience that it's possible. Whether you're open to the possibility and whether you're open to even using better, safer products, it's all up to you. But if you're ready to load up the latest health upgrade, the latest app, then do it. And if you don't know where to find it, then reach out. And I'll get you reset. Because once you're reset, you're on that way. And the whole world is on that way. It's just whether or not you want to get there or be a little bit more comfortable in the journey. Just raise your hand and say, yeah, I'm in. I'm in. It's a brand new day and a brand new moment, and health is your birthright. Health is in the best whole new world. Joy, health, peace, love, wealth. It's all there. You have complete freedom to be yourself, your best whole new world, to love your life. And many people are experiencing that. Caterpillars have moved into the chrysalis. And for those that are ready to fly, they're going to get their wings strong enough and they're going to come join us butterflies. And it will be the best whole new world. Mwah. Transmission out. Have a great night. And get the app, the health app that keeps you healthy all the time.